Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away, and I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for, and I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down.
Consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries.
Analysts are pointing out a key weakness in Terence Crawford's newest training clips. Gareth admitted that while he originally backed Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, his stance has shifted. As the bout nears, he now favors Canelo, saying Crawford is about to face a level of punching power he's never encountered. The shift underlines rising skepticism over Crawford's ability to absorb Canelo's strength and survive at the elite level.
That's early on. Very close rounds in the first 3 or 4. We'll be divided on who's winning. I think Canelo will get going in the second third of the fight and land some big shots. I think Crawford will look good as well. Rounds 6 to 9, we'll be looking at who's getting ascendancy in the fight. Crawford will have weathered the storm of the big Canelo punches, countered himself, still close rounds. I think Canelo will push away and in my view will win the fight, because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away, and I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for, and I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down, and if he does go down, he'll get up. I think it'll be a very, very close affair, and I think even if in those last 6 rounds Crawford's got Canelo's number in terms of movement and timing, I still think if it's very close in rounds, I think it'll either be a draw or a narrow points decision for Saul Canelo Alvarez that everybody feels is very controversial, and then they'll do it again. That's how I see it playing, and that's the plot, if you like, with the subplots in the drama of one of the biggest fights we've seen in Vegas.
Gennady Golovkin's coach has issued a blunt forecast, warning that Terence Crawford may struggle to keep his energy at the higher weight. He predicts Crawford could fade as early as round 4. He points to the sudden jump in size and added muscle as factors that could slow him down. Because Crawford has never fought at this weight, the trainer believes the adjustments are massive. Carrying extra pounds can sap even great fighters, draining energy and causing frustration. If Crawford can't manage his pace, he risks tiring out before the middle rounds.
Triple G's former trainer said that Crawford's gonna be quick in the first 4 rounds, but once Canelo figures him out and actually starts hitting Terence Crawford, in which Sanchez described as, quote, like a huge truck hitting him, it'll be game over for Terence Crawford. He explained that Crawford may not have the legs for someone like Canelo in the 168-pound division. Sanchez also added that if Canelo was eventually going to be Crawford's endgame, then Crawford should have jumped weight divisions a while back. Now, Crawford could have technically done that after the Spence fight. However, his once-a-year fight schedule prevented that from happening.
Rumors suggest Terence Crawford may have developed a shoulder issue during camp for the Canelo fight. While nothing official has surfaced, the mere possibility has worried fans and analysts. This is particularly concerning because Crawford's career has been carefully paced, with limited fights each year, giving him time to recover fully. This quick turnaround hasn't allowed that break, meaning any soreness could carry into fight night. In boxing, shoulder health is crucial for speed, accuracy, defense, and power. Even a minor strain could slow his punches, weaken his shots, and affect his confidence. Against a seasoned, heavy-handed fighter like Canelo, hesitating for even a moment could be costly. If the injury is real, Crawford enters a steep uphill climb, facing an elite opponent without full use of one of his most important assets.
Solitary training camp, and in every single solitary fight, a guy that is as old as Terence Crawford, 37, 38 years old, is going to have some type of injuries. They're going to have some type of old, nagging type of stuff, especially a guy that works as ridiculously hard as Terence Crawford does, that is just a matter of time before wear and tear is going to start going and things are going to start popping off and going wrong, right? Also, you can tell that the reason that this is kind of consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries and gives his body time to heal up. And as a result, okay, he's ready to go during fight time. So I wouldn't put too much on this. I would say though that if you're a gambling person, man, you should probably want to keep your money in your pocket for this particular fight, man, because this thing can absolutely positively go either way with between the two of these guys. Canelo Alvarez is an exceptional fighter, much bigger than Terence Crawford is, or been fighting at a much bigger weight class than Terence Crawford's been fighting at, and much more experienced at that level at 168 pounds. But Terence Crawford is just such a superb fighter and such an intelligent fighter in there that you can know that he's going to be coming there to fight, and he's got a significant chance to win that fight. Unless, of course, that injury is real. I mean, and it is significant and it's preventing him from, really sitting down on his punches, because he's going to have to at a point in time with Canelo Alvarez is going to have to do something to get him apart.
Keith Thurman offered a grounded view of the upcoming clash. He noted that Canelo Alvarez, despite past defeats, remains a very dangerous foe. Thurman stressed that every boxer has flaws, but exploiting them is another matter. Canelo's experience, skills, and toughness make him a threat who cannot be taken lightly. Losses haven't broken Canelo. They have made him a more complete fighter. Thurman warned that believing Canelo is beatable doesn't mean Crawford automatically wins. He must perform at a level he's never shown before against someone of Canelo's size and pedigree.
An unbeatable fighter. That's fine. None of us are really unbeatable, right? But people gotta understand this. Canelo Alvarez is not an unbeatable fighter. The question is, whoever he's fighting, we don't question what Canelo's gonna do, right? We question what his opponents are gonna do, right? It's not even really about Canelo. Canelo's gonna show up as Canelo Alvarez, right? Ginger boy. So the question is, are you gonna beat him? And are you gonna beat him today? Like when fight night happens, is it you and is it now? You ready to beat him now? He's not unbeatable. Maybe you can beat him, but are you gonna do it? And are you gonna do it now? You feel me? Because I thought Danny Jacobs was gonna have a way better performance.
Danny actually performed well against Canelo, but he didn't take any chances. He was doing just enough to not get beaten.
And Canelo was feeling himself. Canelo had preparation. He had that head movement, losing to Floyd, this and that. He fought some flat-footed fighters. He got used to getting his head here and there and ducking down and then pulling out and spinning out and little tactics. I've never seen somebody make Danny Jacobs miss so many punches. It was highly impressive. I did not expect that, because of the amateur pedigree growing up with Danny Jacobs. I know exactly what kind of New York fighter he is.
New footage of the face-off between Crawford and Canelo has gone viral. Surprisingly, Crawford looked bigger than expected, appearing nearly equal to Canelo in stature. That's unusual since Canelo is known for his power and compact build at higher weights. This visual has sparked debate about how effectively Crawford has gained mass. Some call it proof he's bulked up successfully, while others say size alone doesn't equal stamina or strength. The real test is whether he can carry the added weight naturally without slowing down. Looking bigger might intimidate, but the true measure will be how his body holds up across 12 rounds.
With that said, they're gonna face off in an epic showdown. And the big talk, obviously, is the size difference, right? That Canelo Alvarez is much bigger than the smaller Terence Bud Crawford, who is essentially coming up from 147 in the minds of many. But really and truly, he's coming up from 154 because he actually had a fight at 154, a title opportunity, his only fight at 154 last August when he took on Israel Madrimov. Okay, and he beat Israel Madrimov, unanimous decision, to become a 4-division champion. But as you see here in this photo, there's not a big size difference. And actually, obviously, we know Terence Crawford stands at 5'8", got a 74-inch arm reach. Canelo stands at 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach. There's not a massive size difference at all whatsoever. Now, clearly, as you see, Terence Crawford clearly has on what looks like Balenciaga shoes, and we know they are extremely big shoes, and it make you slightly taller. And Canelo Alvarez has on flats. The thing here is, the more important thing is, not if Terence Crawford can take Canelo Alvarez's punches. It's not if Terence Crawford, is going to get bullied around the ring. The concern with the weight is how Terence Crawford carries it himself. Does he start to fatigue in the second half of the fight? Should he get to the second half of the fight?
Timothy Bradley Jr., respected both as a former champion and as an analyst, laid out a clear game plan for Crawford. He believes Crawford's best chance is to attack early. Canelo tends to grow stronger and more settled as rounds go on, so the longer the fight lasts, the riskier it becomes for Crawford. Bradley says Crawford's speed, precision, and IQ can disrupt Canelo's rhythm if applied right away. Since the extra weight could sap his stamina later, saving energy is realistic. Bradley advises Crawford to lean on his explosiveness and reflexes, take risks in the opening frames, and try to finish the job before fatigue sets in.
Yeah, he can move a little bit, but yeah, he likes to come forward with that power. But you put him on his back foot, let me tell you similar to. You know this guy named Usyk who put Fury on his back foot? Yeah, push the pace on him. Yeah, with volume, feint, put Canelo on his back foot, Crawford. That's what you gotta do. You gotta put him on his back foot. Hell to the damn yeah. That's how you get it done, man. That's one aspect that you're gonna have to do. And hey, I would advise you to do it as early as damn possible. Do it as early as possible, because guess what? If you do that, you're gonna get control right away of the judges, right? They're gonna be looking at you. You're gonna dictate the pace. You're gonna dictate the flow of the fight. You gotta have him react to you, not you reacting to him. That's how you gain control of the fight real quick, real soon. Get active with that jab. You don't necessarily have to come out in a southpaw stance. You can come out in an orthodox stance. You know, what's the punch that always hits Canelo all the time? Easy work, the jab. Triple G was able to land his jab over and over. Floyd Mayweather was able to land his jab over and over. Bivol was able to land his jab over and over. You control him, you push him back, you walk forward. Anytime Canelo give you an inch going back, you take that inch going forward. That's how you gonna get this done. You gonna have to be brave, my man, Crawford. You gonna have to be brave. You gonna have to be on your P's and Q's when you walking forward as well, because he will snap back. He will snap back with them left hooks, right hands to the body, or looping right hands over the top, or even straight right hands. Sometimes he might even come with a two-piece combination. But you got to put him on his back foot as often as possible, man. With your how cerebral you are, with your feints, with your movement, snapping that.
Crawford's sparring partner Al Stanton offered an inside look that counters some of the doubts. He said Crawford's power and training has been remarkable sharp, strong, and steady even against bigger men. In Stanton's view, Crawford isn't struggling with the new weight and has adjusted smoothly to heavier opposition. Hearing this from someone sharing rounds with him reassures fans worried he might falter. Stanton's comments point to Crawford's natural athleticism and hard work allowing him to handle the challenge without losing the essence of his style.
He's very good at kind of holding fighters, putting his weight on them. You're a big boy for 168, Al, so how did he manage and cope with that when you kind of picture Canelo doing that to him?
Nah, he's strong. That man is strong. He's strong. So I don't think he'll have a problem, you know what I'm saying, with that.
What do you think, from your takeaway, is it from that sparring is the key for Terence to defeat Canelo Alvarez?
Just use his skills. I think he has the better skills. And say just box him. Just box him the whole night.
Given your experiences with him, and as you mentioned, he's strong in those sparring sessions, do you have no doubts then that when he's in there at 168, he'll feel fully fledged and capable of performing for those 12 rounds?
Yeah. For 37 years old, like, he's training like he's like 25. Like, I don't think there'll be no problem at all with the fight.
What do you think he has to be mindful of that Canelo can produce? What do you think he has to be wary of in that fight?
Power.
Former welterweight champ Shawn Porter also weighed in, focusing on how Crawford added weight. Porter said Crawford didn't rush the process, but built up gradually, first adding about 10 pounds, then another 10, letting his body adjust each step. This careful strategy, Porter believes, is the proper way to handle weight changes because it reduces stress on the body. He observed that Crawford carries the weight evenly, so his speed and movement remain intact. For a fighter whose style depends on sharpness and agility, that balance is crucial against a veteran like Canelo.
Thing a fighter can do when he's trying to gain 10 pounds to fight at another weight class is hit the weights, up your protein and things of that nature. I saw the man eat. The man is eating brilliantly. He's doing it all right. And that's what I meant when I said, when he decided to take on this challenge in Canelo Alvarez, it takes a good 2 years to successfully put on 10 pounds, along with successfully putting on 10 pounds to get your body to acclimate to that weight, right? So when people talk about him being out of the ring for 13 months, they really have to also accept they have to understand that he's been working and training for everything that he needs to do on fight night against Canelo Alvarez.
So you saw him in camp as he was building and putting that weight on, and you said there that you think he's doing it right. From what you saw then from training, do you think he's carrying the weight well then? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw it in his legs, I could see it in his arms and his shoulders, and it's distributed evenly. You'll get a lot of guys who are bottom heavy. They don't have much on the top half, so once you get to the inside, they don't have a lot that they can do with you from this standpoint. I know a lot of people are concerned with Canelo Alvarez. Should he get in close? What's the strength situation going to be like? Will Crawford's put on the right muscle mass in the chest area, in the ab reach, and in the arms and things of that nature? I think he's going to be able to handle the strength just fine.